Hi y'all, Kraken Latte here. Welcome back to Dragonflight Alpha. We are looking at professions again. I know, that seems to be what I'm doing lately. And we have another set to look at. We have, as you can see, newly added to our list here, Inscription is the next crafting one, and our first gathering one available to us. We have Skinning. So let's grab Inscription. We're going to learn that real quick, and also Skinning. And we're going to look over the recipes of these. I don't know what Skinning is going to have for it, since it's a gathering profession, but we're going to look at it anyways. So, just like before, let's prepare for delicious, yummy stuff. Yeah. Alright, so Skinning skills. Put that on 5 just because. Alright, so let's start with Skinning real quick. Ooh. We do have some things in here. Okay. Skinning has specializations too? I didn't know what they were going to do with that. That will get its own video. Cool. Okay, enough of that. I'm just super excited. I wasn't actually expecting Skinning to get specializations. I don't know, because it's a gathering profession. Like, it could definitely have it. Not saying it shouldn't or can't, but like cooking.
Let's get cooking.
I'm going to check it again, but cooking, for example, has been here since, I think, week 1.
I still have a lot to learn.
Yeah, you do know me. But it doesn't have specializations. Get out here so I can look. Yeah, no specializations for cooking, which I think is kind of a bummer, just because I think you easily could have specializations for cooking. Like, you know, maybe specialize, if you wanted to be, like, maybe, categorical, you could, like, you specialize in snacks, you could specialize in raid feasts, you could specialize in utility items type stuff, utility food. I don't know. Or if you wanted to go like an ethnic cuisine, you could specialize in Pandaren and Vrykul, and I mean, I guess that can get kind of dicey because there's a lot, but I don't know, maybe it'd be a fun way to do that. But anyway, let's look at Inscription. The reason we're here, not Inscription, I am sorry. I'm all over the place. I'm too excited. Skinning. This is going to be a short one, so I'll probably keep both these in the same video. So, Skinning. We have Dragon Isles Skinning, which is very nice. And it, too, has profession, tools, and accessories. I don't have any on hand at the moment, but it can use them as well. So we have refined hides. It looks like we have different qualities, it looks like. Refined, 5 quality, copper, I guess, rank 1. Rare hides and scales gathered from creatures of the Dragon Isles to 1 quality, which is silver. So quality 1 is 2 silver? I don't know. I'm just going to call them by their colors because I don't know. Anyway, so we've got refined dragon hides. Dragon Isles hides, not dragons. Maybe we'll do dragons, I don't know. Probably will, there's a lot of bad dragons. Anyway, refines 5 quality silver rare hides and scales gathered from the creatures of the Dragon Isles to 1 quality. Oh, I see. It's just worded weird. It just ups it by 1 quality. So, to gold. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So you can up the quality of hides by refining them. I like that because it's not just what you're skinning is what you're getting based on how much you've skinned. You actually get to, like, do the refining, skinning stuff that skinners also do. You know, it's kind of not necessarily tanning, because that's kind of more leatherworking, but I mean, skinning and leatherworking, they really, really go together, so. Alright, we have refined leather. Looks like this is the same idea. Takes bronze to silver, and then silver to gold. Same for scales. Bronze to silver, and then silver to gold. So that's kind of neat. And now we have bait. Apparently, skinners can make bait. We have actual recipes. I don't count necessarily these refinement ones as recipes, because that's just kind of, you know, like a skill thing. We have actual recipes as skinning. What? bottled pheromones. Open a bottle of pheromones, drawing all unoccupied skinnable beasts and dragonkin within 60 yards to you. Only usable outdoors in the Dragon Isles. Well, that's kind of cool. And I can see it right now. Questing is going to be very difficult. Because, oh man, sometimes the farmers already make it hard anyways. So this is going to be interesting. I like this concept, though. It's very interesting. Maybe meat. Elusive creature bait. All right. Place the bait, luring an elusive creature after a small amount of time. Who knows what might show up? An enticing bait to draw elusive creatures out of hiding. Sip of my coffee. It is technically a cappuccino, but I make it more like a latte. Has white chocolate and coconut in it. It's wonderful. Okay, infusion. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I think I know what this is. So use. Place the bait, luring an elusive creature after a small amount of time. Who knows what might show up? Okay, this isn't what I thought it was. I thought we were making different kinds of hides, but duh, I saw that on leatherworking. Because you have different these. So I think with this is bait. Obviously, it sits under the bait category. To lure specific kinds of creatures. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright, I see what they're trying to do here, and it's very interesting. We have the earth-infused version, we have the frost version, and the order-infused? That's another category we haven't seen much. Like, there's been a few recipes that refer to order, but is that, like, Titan stuff? Because the Titans are kind of considered the pantheon of order, not just arcane, because they're in the arcane category on the cosmos. But anyway, that's cosmic stuff. Let's look at our recipes. Fishing lures. We can make lures for fishing. That is neat. I like that. Aileron Seamoth Lure. Increases the chance to catch aileron seamoth for 30 minutes. That's really neat. I like this, actually, that we can make the lures instead of getting a chance to get them as we fish. So, more of that interconnectivity. Kudos. Applaud. I like that. I like this interconnectivity between professions, because it promotes commerce and makes it interesting, and you're not just, no-braining your profession. You actually have to think about it a little bit, which, makes it more engaging. Some people might not like that. They might like no-branding their professions, but, come on, that's boring. Let's be real. Easy isn't always fun, Alright, so we have one for Spinefish. We have Islephin Dorado. We have Scalebilly Mackerel and Temporal Dragonhead and 1000-Bite Piranha. That sounds fun. That's really neat, though. And we have specializations as well, which I will go over specializations in its own video, so the one after this one. But that's skinning. That looks cool to me. Obviously, compared to a true crafting profession, this list is very small. But the fact that we have crafting abilities at all as a skinner, I think is really neat, because that puts a lot more value on your choices for your gathering professions. Like, they've always just been kind of I don't want to say a necessary evil, but it doesn't, like, for me, it doesn't really matter who I slap my gathering on, because the crafting ones are the important ones. Well, now this is going to make you think a little bit more, and I am pleased that I need to think about that. I need to reconsider how I set up my professions, and I appreciate that. So, Inscription. Let's move on to the next one. Before we get started, and before I even look at these, because remember, this is my first look. I haven't looked at these yet. Inscription has always been in a bit of turmoil, it would seem, as a profession. Because Inscription, to me, is really cool. But it's always been kind of lackluster, Like, it used to be pretty good because it had glyphs, but that was kind of all it was. And so when glyphs were removed at the start of Legion, the end of WoD, kind of wasn't great. And then we had missives come in, I think with BFA. Those are very, very recent. But even then, you know, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more we could do with Inscription, but unfortunately, I don't have any suggestions. That's why I've not really made a video about that, because I don't like criticizing if I can't give suggestions. You know what I mean? And Inscription is definitely one of those where a lot more could be done with it, but in my mind, it can be very similar to enchanting. Because if you think about it, you know, what do we do with all the runic magic that we're putting on our paper? That's kind of what Inscription is, but you could also kind of see that like enchantment, like enchanted tomes and enchanted scrolls, and like, you know, they start blurring at that point, and I think that's where it gets kind of difficult to see the two, because enchanting is not just putting enchantments on armor. You know, you put it on actual paper too, technically. Anyway, enough about that. Let's actually look at the recipes and see what they were able to do. Doesn't look like we have as many recipes as the other crafting professions, kind of to be expected. But I'm curious to see if they've managed to come up with anything new for poor Inscription. I don't want to get rid of it. I like Inscription. It needs something, you know? Alright, so we have milling. We have good old Dragon Isles milling. That is nothing new. It's just like we saw with prospecting. They have added it to this menu here instead of putting it here as a little button, kind of like, you know, you see the cooking fire here. You know, it's not here anymore. It's here, which I do like. I like this a lot. In fact, let's see. Let's grab a stack of herbs for a visual representation. Master Botanist. Let's get some Hockenbloom. Let's do like 200 of those, sure.
Go in peace.
Alright, Hockenbloom. I know. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I like saying it that way, so. But yeah, just like before, we click on this here. Hide unowned, and we can do Hockenbloom. And yeah, this one's still stopping. I'm sure they're working on that, but I'm going to report this feedback real quick just because I don't know if it's a bug or not. So I'm going to do feedback. Oh, let's see. Inscription. So I want to make sure they are aware if they weren't already. I know they are, but you know. More feedback always helps. Milling seems to suffer the same issue as prospecting. Choosing create all does not create all and stops at every loot window, even with auto loot on. There. I don't know if that's a bug or feedback, but I feel like it's a bug. I probably should put it in bug. Oh well, it's fine. They'll see it. And I already know they know about these. I have seen talk about this, so don't worry. Okay, but anyways, theoretically, you know, when they get this, I guess I should turn auto loot on, but I know I had it on. Why does it keep being turned off? That's right. They moved it to key bindings, which I think is the weirdest thing ever. But I guess because you can key bind it. Anyway. Yeah, see. I know this will stop. Yep, see. It stopped. Well, anyway. There's milling. So, we have milling. Whoop-de-doo. I like that it's here, though. I like that it's not... You have to click the thing, put it on the thing here. You know, click the mill, click the herb, and then you can, like, you know, there's add-ons. I have add-ons that let me just spam a button and do this exact same thing. But if they can get this to work where you just create all and it just freaking mills it for you, we don't even need mass mill anymore. Just mill it with this. This is nice. I know I went over this with prospecting. It's the same ability, but it makes me so happy. Anyway, we have inks. So let's look at the Dragon Isles inks. We have Blazing Ink. Very neat. I like that name. That means it's going to be all pretty and fiery and red. I like that. Flourishing Ink. So we got the emerald dragon looking one here. That's pretty. Kind of green and pink colored. I like looking at the color of these because I'm a writer and an artist by default at my core, even though I don't do writing or art as I used to. I just don't have time for it in my adult days these days, unfortunately. I'm hoping at some point I can wrangle my life back together and be able to do that because I want to, but time, you know? Time. So I really like inks. I've always liked, I don't know, just I've been having fun with digital art with the few times I've had a chance to do that, but there's just something satisfying about getting gorgeous, beautiful, rich colored ink and putting it on paper. Even if you're not doing actual art, I just love ink. Always been an ink fan, so I know that's weird, but I love ink. So I like looking at the color because I like to try to imagine mentally with a quill what it would look like for my character to be using these beautiful inks. They must be gorgeous. I mean, look at the color. They're so saturated. I love saturated colors. Anyways, we have Serene Ink. Oh, gorgeous. That must be the blue one. And moving on a little bit, because remember, this is the learn stuff. So we'll jump back here in a second. Dragon Isles Reagents. We have Warm Rune. It doesn't say it does anything. It's just a reagent. Okay. So, unlearned section. More inks. Cosmic Ink. Ooh. That must be the, whatever you call those people, the bronze dragon, since, you know, we're dragon themed. Oh, I'm so excited for this expansion. And then we have the Burnished Ink, which must be Blazing Flourish, Serene. I'm going to assume probably the red dragon, although the blazing might be the red dragon. That might actually be the earth one, because the earth seems to be synonymous with purple, I've noticed, for the new Dragonflight stuff, not just black, which I think is an interesting twist, because on the color scheme, on a color scale, black and purple can get very close. Like, you can get so dark with purple it looks black, and it's like you can do that with any color, but especially purple. So I like that that's synonymous there. And old gods are usually associated with purple, like Nazoth. So I don't know if there's a connection there, but interesting. Anyways, Dragon Isles Reagents, we have Runed Writhe Bark. That's a pretty symbol. Whoever does the icons for these, you do a damn good job, and I just appreciate it because it's gorgeous. I like looking at the little things. I really like the icons because if you think about it, this is a game where we're kind of playing with imaginary items. Yes, I mean literally, but I mean like when you pick an herb, you're not physically looking at the herb in your hand, you know, in the game like you do in some games. It just goes into your bags, and it goes from static item in the open world to a icon in your bags. You're not actually looking at the item. And so I like these icons because they're very important, because they tell you what it looks like for stuff that doesn't have a 3D model. Does that make sense? I know I like to overthink things, but I like details like that. So this runed writhe bark is quite gorgeous. So anyways, missives. We have the return of missives. Those are nice. Oh, but these are not rep missives. Interesting. Okay. So this is Draconic Missive of the Fire Flash. Oh, bringing back the old Fire Flash, Harmonious Quick Blade, Fever Flare. You may recognize these. I need a sip. You may recognize these. You'll see these on old green gear. Old green, sometimes blue, but usually BOE gear. Sometimes I think you could get it on old crafted gear too from like older expansions. So it's kind of interesting that they're bringing this back. These are not rep missives, which kind of makes sense because I can't confirm this myself, but from what I saw someone else mention, the I think there's 4 zones that are in Dragon Isles have a rep. You know, they have their main factions like usual. But they don't have a reputation per se. It's a renown bar. Which, you know, renown and a reputation are very, very similar. They're just visually different. You go up like, you know, 1, 2, 3 instead of 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. It's, you know, it's visually different. So I feel like if done right, renown could be more rewarding. No, I don't know what rewarding is, but it doesn't sound good. Anyway, I am rambling. I am sorry. I'm very rambly today. Let's move on. We have Draconic Missive of the Fire Flash, plus 15 difficulty. Provides the following property: guarantee critical strike and haste. Plus 15. So it's I see. An optional crafting reagent. So these are for gear, it looks like. Yeah. Plus 10 recipe difficulty. Yeah, verse and mastery. Okay, so these missives are crafting reagents that you would put in your armor. So it looks like Inscription is going to be making that. So they've turned missives into armor stuff for stats instead of the rep. Which I get. That's fine. That's fine. We have mastery and haste. This one was versatility and crit. We have crit and mastery, versatility and haste. So we have, you know, good combos here as usual. Interesting. All right, let's move on. I don't care much for these because I pretty much never use them, but maybe I will. I don't know. I don't usually do crafting for gold. I haven't since Miss Pandaria, when I was saving up for rocket mounts and stuff, just because that's not really my thing. I think it's kind of boring, but it might not be boring with Dragonflight, so maybe I will. I don't know. We have Runes and Sigils. Jet Scale Sigil. So what is this? Optional crafting reagent. So it's another one of those. Plus 10 recipe difficulty. Provides the following property. Which obviously isn't done because it doesn't say what it is. It's usable with Darkmoon decks. Yeah, these aren't done. Bronze Scale Sigil. Okay, Ember Scale Sigil. Do any of these say what they do? Sigil. So these are like the missives, but they might. It says property. Oh. Ember Scale. Oh. Did it just need to load? Oh, it just needed to load. Maybe they just added it. I don't know. This game is constantly in motion. So, okay. It says a thing now. Provides the following property. Your Darkmoon deck no longer shuffles when the ace is down. So these are for kind of customizing your Darkmoon deck trinkets, I guess? I've never really been interested much in those myself, except for the few times I needed to buy one to get into, like, LFR early on a alt, but that's kind of it. I know they're really good at the start of an expansion, so I don't know. We'll see what these do. So this one, the Bronze Scale Sigil, provides following property. Your Darkmoon deck shuffles faster. Shuffles faster? Do I not know about Darkmoon decks very well, or is that new? Because I've used the Trinkets. Is that not for the Trinkets? I don't know. This one, your Darkmoon deck no longer has even cards. This one is the Sage Scale Words Sigil. Your Darkmoon deck only shuffles when you jump. Interesting. These are interesting. Your Darkmoon deck now shuffles from greatest to least. Azure Scale Sigil. Interesting. And we have some Vantis Runes. Those are returning, it looks like. Did we have Vantis Runes in Shadowlands? I don't recall seeing those in the list, but it's been a while since I leveled Shadowlands Inscription. Anyways, I know we had those the past couple expansions. Vantis Runes, you know, like it says here. Use. Attune yourself to the energies of the targeted vault of the Incarnate's raid boss, increasing your versatility by 100 when fighting that boss. This effect lasts for an entire week. You can only use one Vantis Rune per week. So it looks like they're doing the full raid, which I feel like they did in BFA, instead of specific to each boss, like I believe we had in Legion. I mean, these are still boss specific, but you know, you can only pick a boss out of that raid. It's not for Scorpion, for, you know, Elisand. It's not, you know, etc., etc. The different bosses. We have Blazing Rune. Imbue your weapon with the energy of a dragonfly, increasing critical strike rating by 34 for 1 hour. A droning sound emanates from the carving. Huh. So they're very, like, looks like they're trying to do, like, buff stuff on more than usual on Inscription to try to make it more interesting. So, if anything, that could mean, like, well, this isn't really stuff I use myself. That means it could be good for gold making, because raiders and such like that, folks like them always need buffs. They always want the best buffs they can have, usually. So, it's, you know, I see what they're trying to do here, and I appreciate it. Chirping Rune. Use. Imbue your weapon with the energy of an Ohuna. Your healing spells have a high chance to heal your target for an additional 25 healing. You hear faint chirping. And Howling Rune. Imbue your weapon with the energy of a Bakar, increasing haste by 28 for 1 hour. You hear a Bakar howl in the distance. Neat. I like the little flavor they add to those. Okay, so yeah, here's the trinkets. This will make more sense now because it's not just a single card. We're using boxes, deck boxes. Interesting. So this trinket, Darkmoon Deck Box Dance. It's a radiant item. Unique equipped, of course. It's a trinket. Use. Call a refreshing dance that bounces 5 to 12 times between friends and foes within 25 yards, dealing 3k nature damage or 3k healing. The number of bounces is determined by the topmost card on the deck. Equip. Periodically shuffle the deck while in combat. And we can see here Darkmoon Sigil. So that's where these come from. You make one of these. You choose which one you want of these and then put it in here. And it looks like you can do another reagent slot as well. So, interesting. Very interesting. So here's the Darkmoon deck box Inferno, which does hurl a smoldering, I can't talk today, I'm sorry. Smoldering Inferno at the target that deals between 21 to 32k fire damage. Damage dealt is determined by the topmost card of the deck. That sounds like a strong trinket. Equip. Periodically shuffle the deck while in combat. Alright, now we have deck box Rhyme. Use. Deal 13k frost damage to your target and apply an Awakening Rhyme for 4 to 12 seconds. If the target dies while Awakening Rhyme is active, it explodes. Think I found the one I want to use for 11,000 frost damage in a 10-yard radius. That's awesome. I might actually wear these. I'm going to put on Inferno and Rhyme just because I want fire and explosions everywhere. Yes, please. That's awesome. Duration is determined by the topmost card of the deck. Equip. Periodically shuffle the deck while in combat. Interesting. Very interesting. So that's cool. I like that. That sounds explosive. Alright, we have Deckbox Watcher. Grants the Watcher's Blessing for 5 to 12 seconds, and an Absorb Shield for 15,000 damage. If the shield depletes while Watcher's Blessing is active, gain 643 versatility for the same duration. Duration is determined by the topmost card of the deck. And then again, shuffles while in combat. So, interesting. Those sound fun. Very interesting trinkets. Of course, I think the Darkmoon card trinkets have always been kind of interesting. This is a whole deck box. Like, there's actually some... You're carrying a freaking deck of cards on your hip as a trinket. That's... Are you ready to duel? I mean, this is awesome. Anyways, weapons. We have weapons. So, offhands. Crackling Codex of the Isles. And can I look at this? Oh, gonna be that way. I gotta close this first. That's right. So, let's get you naked real quick. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. Get naked. Na 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 na. Bow, bow. Sorry. Okay. Now that I have that, let's go back down to that, see if it has a no, and equipping and unequipping doesn't seem to have it, so that doesn't have a visual yet. Illuminating Pillar of the Isles, a two-hand staff, doesn't seem to... Oh, I just didn't want to show on the back. There it is. This one has a visual. Ooh, that's pretty. I like it. Yeah, that's very neat. That is something too. Inscription seems to kind of by default get like staves, wands, offhands. Have they ever gotten bows? Maybe. That usually goes to a different profession, I think. But woodworking is something that could be interesting if they decide to lump that in with Inscription. I mean, they're technically different, but they're technically related. I don't know. Poor Inscription. It's one of those that it just bleeds in with some of the other ones so much. It's hard to make it unique. But, if they wanted to, they could bleed it in with woodworking, and I think that would be cool. You could make, like, little trinkets and things. I mean, more than just, like, these type of trinkets. I mean, like, actual, like, we could make little totems that you can place around made of wood that buff you while in a radius. Like, I think jewel crafting had some of that, but it would be cool to see different versions of those on Inscription as well. So if they wanted to lean that direction, that would feel different enough from the other professions, I think. But anyway, that's a pretty weapon. It doesn't seem to want to go on his back, but that's okay. Kinetic Pillar of the Isles. We have another staff. And it's the green version. There we go. Very nice, very nice. Oh, did that have an ability? No, these don't have equips abilities, but this one does. Weathered Explorer's Stave, which is the pink version, has an equip. Dealing damage has a chance to fill you with a surge of familiar energy. Oops. Increasing haste by 648 for 10 seconds. Okay, so it's a haste staff. Alright. Now we have another offhand, it looks like. Core Explorer's Compendium. Does this have a visual? Doesn't look like it. That's okay. Alright, now we have Overseer's Witherbark Stave. Another stave. Another staff. This one doesn't seem to want to come out though, so it might not have a visual yet. We have the Pioneer's Writhebark Stave. That's Writhebark, not Witherbark. They're both Writhebark. Sorry. I don't know why I kept trying to say Witherbark. But it doesn't look like this one is has a visual yet either. That's okay. That's okay. Anyway, moving on to scrolls. We have Illusion Parchment Whirling Breeze. Alright, so use. Cast a Whirling Breeze illusion at another player. Cannot be used in arenas, battlegrounds, or while in combat. Well, that seems kind of fun. So it's just like a toy, some flavor. Cast a willing the dyslexia is strong this day. Damn it! I'm sorry. Oh, that's what happens when I get overheated, man. Cast a Chilling Wind illusion at another player. Okay, that's Aqua Torrent. We have Arcane Burst, which does an Arcane Burst illusion. We have Chilling Wind, which does a Chilling Wind illusion. Love Charm. Awakened Blood. Oh my. Cast a Love Charm illusion. So these sound fun. These sound like fun toys. Cast a Magma Missile illusion. That's awesome. Shadow Orb. Ooh. Cast a Shadow Orb illusion. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be using these for flavor. I will probably check it off screen, but I do hope, because I don't know how much I have to level. I know, I can check it in the next video when I do specializations. I'll check these. Stuff like this, I like, is, from being cast. Okay, I see. Yeah. This is like one-time use type items, but it's flavor that I like, and sometimes with toys and stuff like this, if you have some on you, you can macro them to your abilities if they're not on the global cooldown, you know, these type of items, so that you automatically use it when, you know, you use a certain ability. Like the bubble wand is one that I used to use a lot. Which is kind of fun. So, and then we have Illusion Parchment Spell Shield, which prevents an illusory parchment spells from being cast on you for 30 minutes. So if you find that annoying, you have a way to turn it off. Party pooper. Scroll of Sales. Ooh, what's this? Summons a vendor of general goods for 5 minutes. Supplies vary with the scroll's quality. 6-hour cooldown. Contractually demands the presence of an independent merchant. Huh. So, are we gonna get, like, interesting nifty things off of this vendor? Or is it just a way for you to, like, vendor trash when you're in an instance or something? Well, that'll be to be seen, I think. Moving on, we still have, actually, quite a few to go. Profession equipment. So they also get to create profession equipment. We have Alchemist's Brilliant Mixing Rod, so obviously that's for alchemy. The Chef's Splendid Rolling Pin. Yep, that's for cooking. Scribe's Resplendent Quill, of course. Alchemist's Sturdy Mixing Tool. Yeah, see, they're kind of leaning into the woodworking a little more. Again, so adding more, just leaning more into that, I think would be fun, because Inscription, you could look at it like not just putting it on paper, but inscribing runes onto pieces of wood as well. So when you need to carve it to do that. So yeah, I can see it, and I would like them to just kind of go for it. So we have the Mixing Rod, Chef's Smooth Rolling Pin, and Scribe's Fastened Quill. So those are for the lovely other professions. And we have Dragon Isle's Mysteries? Fortune cards. Darkmoon Booster Pack. Use. Tear open for some Darkmoon cards. Contains cards only native to the Dragon Isles. We have Blazing Fortune. Flip a card to see your fortune. Flourishing Fortune. Same thing. And Serene Fortune. Same thing. Faded Fortune card. Interesting. Very interesting. So we have fortune cards. Those, if they still work the same as they did back in WoD, I think was when I used them last. Been a while since I've messed with it. You had a chance to get like a lot of gold out of these. So they like the vendor ability price, the worth, the value, I guess, on the card after you flipped it. So it's kind of like a lottery, a gamble type of game. But I know people used to sell these, you know, kind of like a lottery ticket. Like, you could win up to like 5,000 gold or whatever it was. It might have been even higher than that on the rare cards, but it was really rare to get that. Kind of fun that people, for people that like that. Fake gambling, if you will. Alright, now we have contracts. So we do have reputation. So what are the renown? Do we have rep and renown? I've not checked this myself, so again, I can't confirm it, but anyway, contract, Artisans Consortium. Enter a contract with the Artisans Consortium that allows you to gain 12 reputation with them every time you complete a world quest in the Dragon Isles. So, this confirms that we will also be getting world quests again. I'm fine with that. I like world quests, I just hope these are more like the Legion and BFA world quests. The ones we had in Shadowlands were too, I don't know, involved. I didn't like that, you know, the dailies that we had, that's what they were, callings. They're just dailies. Forced you sometimes to do specific types of world quests. I liked the open nature of emissaries, so you could just go do whatever world quest you want to complete it. I liked that a lot more, personally. I'm hoping that's the kind of the case they go with that. I don't think we have access to world quests yet, so I can check that later, though. That's on my to-do list, don't you worry. So, we have Dragonscale Expedition for rep. We have Iskara Tuskar. Interesting, they give 5 different... This one gives 12 rep, that one gives 10 rep, this one gives 15 rep. with the Iskara Tuskar. The Maruk Centaur is 15, and the Valdrakan Accord is 15. Interesting. Interesting indeed. But that's good to see that the contracts, I thought those were missives, but contract sounds more correct. Maybe it was both. I don't remember. I can't go look at the moment. Anyway, doesn't matter. Profession specialization, apparently. What is this? Draconic Treatise on Alchemy. Oh! Pause for effect. Draconic Treatise on Alchemy. Slightly increase your knowledge of Dragon Isle's alchemy. Is this how we learn knowledge for all of them? Because, like, I've messed with it for quite a while, and I've been asking other folks. I can't figure out how to gain knowledge, and that's why we just have items to test it, at least, that just give us a bunch of knowledge for our specializations. And in case you haven't watched my specialization videos, when you unlock a specialization, which you'll see tomorrow, because I'm going to do specs for this tomorrow, and Skinning, because Skinning has it too, which is awesome. You need knowledge to up your specialization ranks, if you will, to open up more parts of the trees. But you don't really seem to get it from crafting, so like crafting all this seems to just level this, not your specializations. That could be different, but like I played with it just, yesterday? So, if this is the case, this means I don't see skinning. Maybe they haven't added it yet. This means Inscription could be very, very, very important if this is possibly the only way to up your knowledge. Well, 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 Inscription. Aren't you fancy? So we have Alchemy, Blacksmithing, Enchanting, Engineering, and let's see, let me make sure they're all here. Alchemy, Blacksmithing, Enchanting, Engineering, Inscription, Jewel Crafting, Leatherworking, and Tailoring. So we have all the main ones, and we have Mining and Herbalism, but I don't see Skinning, which is funny because that's the one that's out this week. It's probably not done. I don't need to report it. There's plenty of other people who probably are reporting it. Yeah, I'll report it anyways. I guess I'll put it as a bug. Draconic tree. It's probably not done. I always feel bad, like, reporting stuff that I'm like, it's probably just not done, but maybe they forgot. I don't know. Oops, I want Skinning. Seems to be missing from Inscription. I can't spell. Help, help, I'm melting. From Inscription recipes. There. Okay, anyways, so that's kind of interesting. So we found a way to increase knowledge for your specializations. That it doesn't say how much, it just says slightly. So when I do specializations, I will test it. Not really in the mode of testing like all the different stuff for all the professions, but I just want to look at it and see what's here. But this one I do want to test, so you'll see that in the next video. So anyway, moving on, we have our last category of dragon writing. So this is all the nifty stuff to upgrade and customize your dragon writing mounts. We have the Explorer's Barding Manuscript, Regal Barding Manuscript, the Conical Head, which unlocks for a customization for your Cliffside Wielder Drake. We have Red Mane. We have Triple Head Horns. And then Black Hair for the Highland Drake. Spined Crest for the Highland Drake. Spined Throat for the Highland Drake. Very cool. We have the Predator Pattern for the renewed Proto Drake. Can I look at this? No, I can't. Like with mounts and stuff and pets, they had added the ability from stuff like this that if you right click on it, you can, or you know, left or right click with control held down, you can look at it just like you can with armor and stuff, but it doesn't seem to be coming up, so that's okay. We have spined crest, spined hair, spined crest. Which is it? Another bug. Renewed Proto Drake. I know this is so exciting for you, isn't it? Bind hair recipe with inscription seems to have two names, hair and crest. Yep, there. When they look at it, they'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Then we have the Windborn Velocidrake. We have black hair. Oh, just here it says fur. Ah, well. I'm not going to report that one. I know they'll see it. It just came out, so I know they're working on it. This one's spined crest, which is spined head. Alright. Yep. Well, when they see one, they'll see the others. Don't you worry. I know they're quite diligent about things like that. We have Windswept Pattern. Interesting. Alright, so that's Inscription's recipes and Skinning's recipes. Interesting bunch of stuff there. They're trying to make poor Inscription a little more interesting. I really would like to see them. In fact, I'll even report, do some feedback here. I would like to see let's see, how should I word this? Inscription lean more into woodworking styles of recipes, as I have noticed a touch of, to make it feel more alive and unique. Perhaps some wood carving or wooden totems with runic magical inscriptions. Can't spell. Or something of that nature. Also can't spell. There we go. I would like to see Inscription lean more into woodworking styles of recipes, as I have noticed a touch of, to make it feel more alive and unique. Perhaps some wood carving or wooden totems with runic magical inscriptions or something of that nature. So, like, we kind of have some of that here, but I want to see more of that, because Inscription does still feel a little bare, even though they have a lot of dragon writing stuff. That's very expansion specific. I mean, that's kind of the thing, is a lot of professions suffer from expansion specific only recipes. You know, meaning like enchantment, who actually uses a lot of the old enchantments, or gems, you know, from jewel crafting. Like, unless you're doing twinks, or there's a good one for like leveling, for speed levelers when they do that stuff, it doesn't really get used anymore. So interesting indeed. Anyway, so that's those two. In the next episode, we're going to go over the specializations for either one or both of them, depending on how long it takes. I try to keep these somewhat short so I can actually, like, you know, get them out to you on time. So here we go. That's the end of that. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember, it's never too latte.